right, so this is a story from 1976 in the Times by Murray Chess. And this is George Steinbrenner. I have nothing against long hair per se, but I'm trying to instill a certain sense of order and discipline in the ball club because I think discipline is important in an athlete. They can joke about it as long as they do it. If they don't do it, we'll find a way to accommodate them somewhere else. I want to develop pride in the players as Yankees. We can get them to feel that way and think that way, fine. If they can't, we'll get rid of them.
And that's if an owner said that today, he'd be laughed at, because you can't. He was a militaristic type of guy, George, and that's where that came from. And in 1976, I think you can get away with it. I don't know if you can get away with that now. Players want to be able to express themselves, and also, the discipline aspect. We've seen you don't have to be that way in order to win. Keeping the players in line, all of that makes sense at the time. It doesn't make sense anymore, Michael.
Okay,
that's not how players are motivated.
If it doesn't mean anything, why do they make you do it in the military? They don't let you have long hair and a beard in the military.
Well, these are people that are fighting for our country and putting their lives on the line, and not Major League Baseball players.
I understand, so they should be able to do whatever they want.
No, the point of doing it in the military is you don't want any individuality. Everyone's a part of one thing. They take orders, and they do what they must do to win. It's a little bit different with multimillionaire baseball players who are trying to find their best professional version of themselves.
Yeah. And when you get into the military and you're going through boot camp, you're a grunt. You're worthless. You're weak, and they're trying to build you up into a machine to defend this country. That's not what. I'm sure George was thinking that way when you can look at players like that back in the day. It has not aged well. And the fact that the Yankees have been able to win, and George is a beloved guy now, it carries a little weight, Michael. But when you read that statement, and that's what it's based off of, it just doesn't apply anymore. Just doesn't.
I think discipline always applies.
Discipline to the cause, but discipline to take the individuality out of a player when the sport is looking for individuals. If you bat flipped in 1976 and singled yourself out, you were in a minority. Now it's the majority of players.
But how could anybody complain when Aaron Judge doesn't complain? He's a leader of the team.
But Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't have a beard. There are a lot of great players that don't need facial hair to express themselves.
Michael, this argument is so challenging.
I don't want to make it. I don't have to defend the Yankee rule.
You keep throwing out like these random names. Well, if one person doesn't like it, we're just saying overall it doesn't help.
I don't think it hurts though, Peter, because the players that they've gotten that. Johnny Damon was a mangy mess with the Red Sox.
Mangy?
Mangy, whatever it is. He called himself an idiot. Came to the Yankees, he got a short haircut, cut his beard. You know what? Right. He won a World Series with them. It didn't affect them.
Right, and they won a World Series when he was mangy. I just think
thank you.
You live in a world where now the players have been given a lot more power, and I think people now look at treating players like that it's a different world now. They become partners. They're making so much more money. Aaron Judge is somebody that's involved with the decision making in the organization now. So to treat players as if they're just spare parts and that everybody's the same, clearly that's changed now. Look at the salaries when George said that in 1976, where managers sometimes were making more money than the players. It's a different world. You're right, it's not hurting them, but you even admitted at some point it may. So why not get out in front of it instead of having to change it because it begins to affect you? Just in a different world now.
I think you don't change it if you believe in it. And if the family believes in it, and somebody doesn't want to play here because they want to have a beard, let them go.
But I think you're, in my opinion, you're believing in something that is convoluted and is not aged well.
Who, me? I'm not. It's not my point to defend
I'm saying the organization. Based on that quote, that would not fly today. It just wouldn't.
But it's flying. Nobody's growing a beard. It's flying.
Well, because they've been fortunate enough, because it's a great place to play, and because they've got a chance to win, that it hasn't affected them yet.
But how can you absolutely know that there was no one out there who it was part of several things that made them think, I'm not interested?
Don't know that. They seem to get the players they want.
Well, now they do, but when they were losing, they didn't. All those players, Barry Bonds didn't want to come and play here.
Not because of a beard.
Well, no, but I'm just saying is that, all of this stuff works when you're winning,
Listen,
but if you're not winning...
Listen, I don't mind a good argument. This, to me, I'm not defending the Yankee policy. I don't want to talk about this. It's
all right,
stupid.
fine.
Why do I have to defend it?
Because you're defending it.
on to defend it. I'm just saying it's stupid. They've never lost a player because of the hair.
Right,
and you guys are making a big deal out of it.
All right, but they're just
Now,
arguing.
Cameron Maven's wrong.
I mean, it's not like he was
I'm going to
just a
sit here and
player.
defend this rule that's been in place since he bought the team in '73. It's not for me to defend it.
Well, then why do you defend it?
Because I'm trying to explain it. They have never lost a player because of a beard. And the guys that are known for wearing beards and long hair obliged, and they shaved without a complaint.
Well, they don't. But this team doesn't win anymore. They're not winners right now. They don't have the same cachet. When Damon came there, it was fresh off them just winning and winning.
No, it's not. They were losing. They hadn't won a World Series in a long time. He came from a team that won a World Series. He joined them, and they won a World Series in 2009. That's not true.
Yeah. Well, hold on. He came there in the mid-2000s when the cachet was still super high.
You know what?
From
There's
the
still
Core
a cachet.
4 World
There's still
Series
a
right
cachet.
before that.
There's still a cachet.
Not the same as there was then.
And I got a buddy of mine who says on discipline, they want everybody to shave, but Boone won't say anything if the guys don't run hard. He'll defend them. Because that's the way you got to do it now, because the player, it's a different world now. I just think, I don't know why you get so frustrated. We're just arguing on a topic.
You win. Let them grow hair. I don't care. This is nonsense to me. Every couple of months I have to defend this crap. It's not my point to defend it.
Don't defend it.
Because I don't believe it's that big of a deal, and I think it's a nice, charming thing. They're not hurting anybody. Any idiot player who needs long hair to perform, you don't even want him anyway. That's ridiculous. They can all grow beards in the winter. You can't tell me that there are businesses in the world that you have to be well-groomed when you go in there. You can't just be a slob. But there are standards.
Having a beard is not being a slob.
I'm not a slob.
There are businesses. There are pinstripe businesses. I'm not talking about the New York Yankees. There are financial firms that you cannot look like that. You cannot have a long hair. You cannot have a beard.
Well, I think what it's more about is what it connotes in terms of that. And there is a certain, when we talk about all the great things about the Yankee organization, and there are a lot of great things, one of the downsides that is out there is a stuffiness that's associated with this team. We've talked about this every year. Tom, we talk about it even with sort of the way that they show their emotions on the field. They're not the most fun-loving team, and that is a little piece culturally of the pie.
Well,
I don't see how that's a relevant thing.
One of the great bat flippers of all time is Juan Soto. They're not going to stop that. You're allowed to be individual. They can celebrate if they want.
So I just think you're kind of holding on to something that doesn't have the same meaning anymore. That's all.
So Matt goes, it's amazing how out of touch Michael is. He sounds like such a goon. Players will flat out say it's something that affects their decision-making, but he's so old-fashioned and refuses to admit anything negative about the organization. Hey, Matt, tell me one player, that they've lost because they won't let them grow a beard. I want to know the one guy who told the Yankees, take your money and take a walk because I want to grow a beard. I'm not out of touch. That's reality, baby. Tell me one player that has turned them down. One.
But you did just acknowledge to me that you might not know if it was a subtle factor for a player.
Bryce Harper said he would cut his beard to play for the Yankees. That's modern. Is that modern enough for you?
I don't know. Is he here playing?
Because they didn't want him. I don't understand that. I can't defend that. They didn't want him. He was willing to cut his beard and his hair. Everybody is. I'm not the one out of touch. I'm talking facts. Tell me the player that said I'm not coming here because I need a beard to be better.
No, it might have cost an extra few million. I don't know. When you're paying the most money and you got the best chance to win, it puts you in a good spot. If God forbid, they do run into a couple of years where they can't sign free agents because their team isn't any good, then what?
Let's see when it happens.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see when it happens. I mean, listen, you have a legitimate point if it happens. Present it to me that it happened. And they might change the rule tomorrow. I have no idea. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I'm just saying, you haven't had a losing
I don't think
season in
either of us
30
do.
years, so you're kind of coming from that area of strength. If all of a sudden you hit the skids for 4 or 5 years, I guarantee you they'd have to waive it.
I don't think it's a huge deal either. I don't think Mabin thinks it's a huge deal. He kind of presented it like it's not a huge deal, but that he does think it's antiquated.
It is antiquated.
And that he thinks other players may think it's antiquated.
Okay, but you know what? They certainly abide by it, do they? Don't they? The biggest names in the sport. Garrett Cole had a long hair when he played for the Astros and the Pirates. It's gone, isn't it?
Right. Well, he's also getting paid $36 million.
But every team wanted him. The Dodgers are willing to pay him that, too. I mean, you're throwing money at me. Not one player has refused to cut their hair. So what is Cameron talking about? Michael Kay Show Holiday Party returns tomorrow, December 8th at your mother's house in Garden City Park, Long Island, with special guest appearances by Amani Toomer and Rick DiPietro. Increase your chances of winning one of the holiday giveaways by bringing up the 3 toys for donations. Mark your calendars and get ready to spread some cheer at the Michael Kay Show Holiday Party tomorrow afternoon at your mother's house in Garden City Park, Long Island. Brought to you by Momentum Solar, the New York Islanders, Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, Yingling Traditional Lager, and Flight by Yingling, the perfect beers for the holiday season. Security Dodge. Visit securitydodge.com. Come get some selection and benefiting the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Peter Fandel.